I think this is a perfect segue to talk about last season, right?
Okay, yeah.
We launched on my birthday, October 26th, right? And we got some great momentum for being a good podcast, right? We can compare ourselves to the established podcast, Earn Your Leisure, you name it, whatever it may be, right? Guys with millions of views. But those guys have been around for years, right? We just started 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And the amount of momentum we were getting was great. People related to our content, people related to me, people related to you. And what I found was that, we make a great duo on the air, right? Like I may be more on the serious side. People love you because you're Mr. Smiley, Michael Lowry, Miguel Lorenzo, whatever you be going by now these days, right? And I just think that you can have two people who come from very similar backgrounds with two different personalities achieving the same goal.
Yeah.
And
in a different way.
Yeah. And I think that's great because, I've learned a lot from you, man. I've learned how to be a better partner, right? Be a better creator. You're a much better creator than I am, man. And I appreciate from the things that you've even taught me in this journey, in this very short journey that's going to be a long marathon for me. So some of the things I learned was being a creator is hard, bro. It is so hard. Creating content, coming up with scripts, coming up with outlines, coming up with ideas, just sort of sticking to originality and not things that are trendy and just hopping off of a train, that's difficult. Yeah. And I have a big admiration and respect for creators all around the world, big or small. That's what this.
I've grown to have a respect for creators that are constantly pumping out quality and good content.
Yeah, not
like
that
consistently.
Yeah, not that rage-baiting stuff.
Shit.
Yeah,
it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Because for us to push out content, it's work. And I think what I learned from you, man, is just like, I've always had discipline, but you're anal about it. Like, you're like...
No, you're making it sound like it's so bad.
No, you're annoyingly anal about it, but it's good, and I appreciate that, And it's like, damn, I see why you're successful. Because you have that drive, almost like a Mamba mentality type of shit. And it's like, yo, relax. You're like, nah, we got...
The job ain't done,
man. Yeah, you're like,
done.
got the foot on the gas the whole time,
I think when we first started this journey, I think one of the first things I told you was like, yo, be careful, right? Because I'm going to tell you what I've got, and I need to uphold that bargain. You're going to get someone who's, going to work hard, right? Yeah. We have both corporate jobs that require a lot of hours from us. And we're doing this in the background, in the middle of the night, in the early mornings of the day, right after our shift, in between lunches. So we're really sacrificing a lot for a podcast that's, a lot of people may be like, oh, why are you guys going so hard for a podcast that's not that big? Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
not everybody started not everybody starts at 1 million, right? Or 500,000, right? So we got to start this from the ground up, from the mud. And the only way you're ever going to do that is by being consistent. Right. Yeah. And what we hope to do now is, upcoming with this season 2 that we're coming out, we have ideas as to what we're going to do to become more consistent. Right. Yeah. And one of the things I've realized, and one of the things I enjoyed the most, was the process. Right. We always talked about that, the process. And then getting to the end product of what an episode looks like and putting out a product out there that you're proud of. Right. Yeah. The thing I liked the least was sort of the back end work that you needed to do, man. Going through videos, having to see your own episode 3 or 4 times, hearing your voice over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Coordinating with your creators, the guys who cut your videos and things like that. It's like managing a whole team. That was
that's the worst.
That was the worst experience.
I can't wait till the big budgets come. It's like we got a team to do that.
Yeah, we need a team.
But for now, I think the good thing is like we got our hands dirty, and like we know the whole process. We know the whole process and what it takes. And there's a level that we haven't even touched yet. And it's like, the consistent growth.
And I think as we expand the team, as we get more permanent members to the LFO team, I think the next stage is becoming more managerial and delegating rather than us being, sort of on the ground, because it allows us and frees us to be more creative, right?
Exactly.
To get in touch with more guests, to get in touch with more brands and venues and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we want to take it. And just talking about season 2 real quick, right? I know this is more of a transitionary episode because me and Mike are about to go right back into the lab to start talking about, start producing season 2. It's going to come out, in the springtime, end of April, beginning of May.
Yep.
And we're working on new guests to have on the season.
The guests that we get, I'm super hyped because it's just gonna take shit to another level. If we get the ones that we want to get.
Don't be Hollywood. Some people have. That's another thing I've learned.
Some people
are real Hollywood as
Oh.
hell. I'm like, damn. Like, look, we understand you may have your following, but you're not Beyonce. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you're not Beyonce. So I don't. But you know what? Kudos to them. They think that their time is super valuable. They don't think, responding to us and just saying no. We're big boys. You could tell us no, you're not interested, instead of ghosting us when we know you're on Instagram all day. Exactly. So, but some of the things we have,
and it's I don't even want to shout it, but it's people we gonna see.
I know that's the worst part.
That's the worst part. It's like
the worst part is that
you're
we're
not that lit. Like
we're gonna see you in an event, and what are you gonna say when we say, "Yo, we sent you or we shot you a text"? You're gonna say you didn't see it? Like, okay, cool. Yeah. But anyway, we're thinking about traveling at least to one destination this summer, like we did last summer. Get some content and sort of. You want
to reveal that? You didn't really confirm with me.
I'm going, bro.
Okay.
I'm going. Right, I'm gonna go one way or another. I still have to pay for the ticket though. But you're right. And cool. So, but we are gonna go. We are gonna film in an international location, sort of like what we're doing here in New York.
Yeah.
And what we're hoping on doing, like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I want to get in touch with other guests that are in other countries, right? Like, I want to. Last Flight Out is not simply, and I want to clarify this for people. The UAE is simply where me and Mike live, right? Where it's not meant to be like, oh, yeah, it's meant to say like how great the UAE is and our experience as expats. But we want to talk to people who have moved, who are like taking the last flight out all across the world, anywhere, right? Because that message should resonate globally, not just to the UAE. So,
and to keep in mind too, it's not a travel podcast, and it's not even a podcast about just if you lived abroad. It's about taking a risk. Like, that's the concept, taking a big leap, going to the unknown,